Live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. Inside Seminole Basketball is brought to you by Coke Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? Try and decide. And by the Florida Department.
Well, the new year got off to a great start for Leonard Hamilton and his Florida State basketball team. Saturday night, taking care of business against the Syracuse Orange inside the Tucker Center and getting off to a great start here in 2025 with a 90-74 win. And now we are headed right smack dab into the teeth of ACC play as the Noles on the road this week for two big games at Miami and at Clemson. We're going to break it all down. Welcome into Inside Seminole Basketball, live from Glory Days here in Tallahassee. Happy New Year, Noles fans. How are we doing today? We doing good?
All right.
Well, I tell you what, one guy who was doing very well after his team's performance Saturday night, sitting right next to me here at my left. Give it up for Leonard Hamilton, everyone, Florida State men's basketball coach.
Well, it's always nice to get a victory in the new year.
It is.
So we learn from some of our shortcomings in the old year.
Yes.
And now we are looking forward to moving on and making progress in the new year.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. I tell you, after the game when we spoke in our post-game show on the radio and audio broadcast, you just seemed like you were ecstatic with the way your guys handled everything, came out, played your brand of basketball. 14 days off. I know when we discussed it in the pregame, you were happy about that break to get some time to self-scout and grow, and man, it obviously paid off in a big way.
Well, now I don't know if I was ecstatic. Okay? We had some shortcomings.
Somewhat happy with the win.
Well, I feel that we had an opportunity to spend some time over the holidays, getting some repetitions. I saw a little bit better execution. I thought we rebounded better. I thought we were much more help conscious on the defensive end. I felt that we showed signs that we're making progress. We had a period there where we had 4 freshmen or 5 first-year players on the floor, and I could see that they were a little more cohesive offensively and defensively. They were less hesitant. They were much more aggressive. And normally you have those types of moments in the latter part of November and December.
Yeah.
But the new version of where we are now in college athletics, to have that many new players now starting to feel more comfortable playing to each other was a welcome sight.
Yeah. Go into that Christmas break for your guys on the court. Obviously, they got some time to go home, spend some time for the holidays. You made your world-famous mac and cheese. I'm still getting ready to sample at some point in time. I can't wait for that invitation to the Hamilton household. But in all seriousness, you got some great work in, obviously. What was great about that period for your team on the court overall?
Well, normally you don't have an opportunity to give them that many days off. So they had a chance to spend time with the Christmas with their families. Every year I've been in coaching, it's been quite a few, there's always something that happens while players are returning from Christmas.
Yeah.
It's always a missed plane, a canceled flight, a flat tire.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you might think it's on purpose.
I bet you've got some good stories.
But like Jerry got stuck for almost 2 days because of some credentials that he needed. And you have things that just happen. Flights were canceled. But for them to get back, and we had plenty of times to deal with the hazards of going home for Christmas, but we got a lot of focused, concentrated practices in. And we challenged them. They responded very well. So I'm pleased that we're making progress. By no means am I ecstatic.
Sure.
Okay, but I feel that we're moving in the right direction.
I'm gonna let you use that term after a lot of wins here coming up in 2025. That's for sure. We got a great show for you coming your way here on the program tonight. A little bit later on, Jamir Watkins will join us here on site, ladies and gentlemen. How great has he been during this season? He's been fantastic. Near 20 points per game this season, doing it on both ends of the floor. Looking forward to talking with him. We'll have a question here from the crowd with Coach, one of his favorite segments. We'll put him in that hot seat, he likes to call it, a little bit later on here in the show, and so much more. But let's get to our truest hero of the game from Saturday in the win, 90-74 over Syracuse. We're going to go with your sophomore forward, Taylor Bowen, Coach. who picked out a double-double, extremely active, knocked into career-high 2 3-pointers in that game as well, showed his versatility on all sides of the floor on Saturday night.
Well, he's one of the veterans on our team, and he's only a sophomore.
Right, as a reclassified guy last year, right? Yeah.
So what is happening with him, he's feeling more comfortable. He's talented. He's really a good standing jump shooter. He's a great pull-up jump shooter. He can attack the basket. But he's just feeling his way, gaining his confidence. Where he's made the most progress is activity. He's going after rebounds out of his area, which is a skill that you have to work on to develop. He's obviously, I think he blocked 3 shots the other night, and I believe he had 3 assists during the game.
He did.
I mean, so that means that he's playing the total game. You know, he's not taking plays off, it's not easy to get a double-double. And I thought he was focused. That was his intention from the beginning of the game, and his activity was tremendous. He was all over the place, and he's containing the dribble a lot better. I thought our defense was pretty solid the other night. So he's making progress, feeling more comfortable. Now we just got to work on being more consistent.
14 points, 10 rebounds. He was 6 of 10 from the field. Again, a career-high 2 threes. As Coach mentioned, 3 assists, 3 block shots as well for Taylor Bowen in that contest. And he has been just so active from one year to the next, Coach. And obviously for any true freshman, it's a big transition from high school to college basketball. Where have you noticed his growth from year 1 to year 2 in your system with what he's given you here so far?
Well, he's more conscious of what his strengths are, and he is doing a magnificent job trying to play within himself. He runs the floor. He's a tremendous athlete, and he's working on those areas of what he wants to become in the future. But he's not neglecting the fact of who he is now with his quickness, his speed, and his athleticism. So that's what you like to see with a youngster, playing within himself while he's working on those things that he wants, the areas where he thinks he needs to improve.
20 block shots, by the way, leads the Noles right now from Taylor Bowen. He had 15 total last year in 31 games played. So he is asserting himself in a big-time way, which is fun.
Well, he's much more confident, and you can see it in his eyes, his body language, and he's talking more in the huddles. He's inspiring the youngsters that are on our team. So right now he's in a good place.
Hey, when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. And our program also brought to you in part by our friends at ABC 27. Get free local news and weather 24/7. Just search WTXL on your favorite streaming device and watch local news and weather on your time. Of course, you can watch a re-air of Inside Seminole Basketball Tuesday night, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. on ABC 27 here in Tallahassee. Hey, we're just getting started. Food looks good out there, everyone. Yeah, food, thumbs up. Always great here at Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. Coming up, Coach mentioned it earlier. He talked about his second 5 and how that group is becoming more and more cohesive. They were great in the second half of that win Saturday over Syracuse. That and more on the way. Live from Glory Days here in Tallahassee. We're back after this timeout. Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletic.
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and
Hey,
hotels.
Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/.
From Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee, this is Inside Seminole Basketball. Let's rejoin the coach with Jeff Culhane.
All right, we're back in Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. Welcome back to Seminole Basketball here in 2025, and welcome back to Glory Days. We're fired up to be here talking with the head coach, Leonard Hamilton, coming off a 90-74 win over Syracuse. By the way, that 16-point win versus the Orange is the highest margin of victory, the largest margin of victory for a home game by Florida State basketball versus Syracuse in the history of the series between the Noles and the Orange. How about that for a nugget there, huh?
Well, I'm always happy if we just win by half a point.
Half point, yeah.
That's long 16. Yeah. But no, I thought it was good. It was good for our guys to feel what it's like. We started off a little slow. Mm-hmm. But like you mentioned before the break, that we did have some guys that our rotation guys are taking a little bit more pride in coming off ready, making a major contribution. They were significant in the game in the second half. Yeah. But you just tell that we're taking baby steps. We're moving in the right direction.
Yep, we're going to get into that here momentarily. But first up, it's time for our Gear of the Week segment presented by our friends at Garnet and Gold. This week's featured item is a Nike men's basketball performance T-shirt with the Seminole head design right over there. How about that look? That looks like something the guys would wear around the practice facility and the Tucker Center right there. Garnet and Gold has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Visit one of the 3 locations here in Tallahassee and pick up your new game day gear, or maybe something Leonard Hamilton wears around the house at home.
I love that shirt. Can you get me one?
I think we can find one for you, Coach. We probably know somebody that can get that taken care of.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you mentioned your second five, and I tell you what, your second 5-man rotation in the second half of the win Saturday was fantastic. A.J. Swinton, Alir Malouk, Boston Holt, Jerry Dang, and then combined with one of your starters, a veteran for you, and Chandler Jackson. Those guys were so good in the middle portion of that second half. It extended your lead from 4 points to 13 from the 12-minute mark to just right before the 8-minute timeout left in that game, and that was a critical portion where Syracuse was trying to get back in it, and that group really played a good brand of basketball together.
Well, we've always taken a lot of pride in having what we call the boom squad. You know, the guys who come out with a lot of energy, and that's been slow developing with us because we've had all new players in that rotation, and they were not as confident and as sure of themselves. Now they are more reacting as opposed to thinking, which has given us a little bit more rhythm offensively and defensively. And I thought those guys came in and gave us tremendous effort. And I hope that we continue to keep moving that direction. That will be a tremendous boost for us, which says that the quality of our depth stepped up in the game against Syracuse and really, really gave us a big, some really, really good, important moments during the second half.
Coach, I find it interesting that those guys, and you look at them, those are 4 newcomers, 2 true freshmen, 1 reclassified who's technically a high school senior in Malique, and Jerry and Boston have played the game, but they're in their first year here at Florida State. Chandler's a veteran in that group at 3 years in the program. But those guys they just seem to really be a great cohesive group together. What does that speak to about how that group moved the ball and executed the game plan on both ends of the floor with the way they played unselfishly?
You know, and sometimes you leave out Stosh and Christian.
Yeah.
Those guys, sometimes it's difficult to play 11 people, but I believe before the year's out, you're going to see how important those guys are in our rotation as well. But I just think that doing that, they played with a little more confidence, a little more energy. I think Malique went in, got a block shot immediately. He was very comfortable pushing the ball down the court, starting a break. I thought he was active, changing shots, contesting shots, and blocking shots.
Yeah.
And he didn't have any hesitation once he got the ball from an offensive standpoint. He wasn't doing that early in the year. He was very hesitant thinking, and he's growing up and maturing. And I think you're going to see him continue to keep getting better and better.
Yeah, and A.J. Swinton is a young man who's continuing to grow and grow. I know you love his upside and his just overall basketball skill set as a young player in your program right now.
Well, he's done a tremendous job with shaping his body. You know, like a lot of freshmen, sometimes you come in and it's difficult navigating through that early part of your freshman year. But he's lost a lot of weight. He's regained his athleticism, and now he has a better understanding of what we're doing offensively and defensively, and it's showing on the court. He's where he's supposed to be. For instance, there were several times when he switched out on his man, and normally that would be an easy catch for the person who he switched out on. He had his hand on the line. He got some deflections. We got some easy baskets as a result of the deflections that those guys were giving us during that period of time. And easy baskets are always important.
Yeah.
And then the fatigue factor. When you have guys coming in with giving you a tremendous amount of energy with another team starting group, and then you come back with your fresh starters, sometimes that takes its toll, and I think that's what happened on Saturday.
Yeah, it really did. It definitely wore down Cuse in that second half. Funny, you talk about A.J. and getting his body right as a freshman. A food and nutrition science major, A.J. Swinton. His mother delivered healthy food choices to her clients in the Washington, D.C. area. I tell you what, coming out of the holidays, I could use some healthy meal choices from Mrs. Swinton, Coach.
Well, there's no doubt that something's going on because he was up to like about 220, 222, and now he's down to 202.
Uh-huh.
And so I can't take any credit for that because every time I see him, he's eating. But obviously his mother's been giving him some very knowledgeable information.
Uh-huh. That's right.
That he's keeping a secret.
Loving the food at Glory Days, I think, A.J. Swinton. It's so good, that's for sure. Well, we're just getting rolling along here on Inside Seminole Basketball with Leonard Hamilton and introducing the official vodka of Florida State Athletics, SV Vodka, crafted for a smooth taste. SV Vodka is 100% vegan, perfect for those who value purity in every sip. Experience the unique blend of tradition and innovation with SV Vodka, the official vodka of Florida State Athletics. Coming up, we've got more on the way with the head man of the Noles. How about his freshman point guard, Daquan Davis, right now? What he is doing, he played unbelievably well in that win Saturday night. We'll talk more about that when we return live here at Glory Days in Tallahassee. We're back after this timeout.
Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletics.
Around here, There's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
Hey, Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/Seminoles. And we're back in. Big thanks to Karina and Amelia with the Florida State cheer squad welcoming us back into Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. We appreciate those two for taking time out of their busy schedules and being with us here tonight, here this evening, as our program is brought to you in part by our friends at Seminole Boosters. Did you know that FSU Athletics is self-supported? It's not funded by tax dollars. Because of this, we rely on fans to join Seminole Boosters so your teams have the best possible chance to achieve success on and off the court. Seminole Booster membership starts at $5 per month and comes with great membership benefits. Go online to SeminoleBoosters.com to learn more or join. That's SeminoleBoosters.com. All right, great to be back in, live from Glory Days Grill here in Tallahassee. Coach Daquan Davis, I tell you what, Coach, he has just been fun to watch, and the toughness, the maturity that young man shows. He's 18, 19 years old, first year in your program. He plays like he's 28, 29 years old, Coach. And I just thought he was tremendous. Where did he thrive the most in your eyes, leading your team from the point guard spot in that win Saturday?
Well, he's becoming more and more of a leader because now he's more comfortable with our system. He's actually giving us instructions offensively and defensively in the huddles. He's leading by example. He's extremely confident in who he is. He's a football player in high school, and he has that football mentality and toughness. He jumped up and hit the first jump shot like that's what he's supposed to do. He believes that. So a player with that level of confidence is very important, especially when you are a freshman trying to adjust to college basketball.
Where does that come from? I mean, where does that that belief, that intuition, obviously, but not all freshmen are they're not built the same way in that category. Some guys struggle, some guys take time, others just fit right in no matter what.
But you have to give credit for one thing. Sometimes That's what I always call that it factor, that sometimes you can't really put your finger on. Some people just have it, that ability that separates good players from great players. So you know that you're going to get what he has every day because he's consistent with his effort in whatever he does. And he does it with a smile on his face, with an aggressiveness. He has that winning mentality, and it's contagious, and it can be infused into your whole team. He brings that. And plus, he has a tremendous basketball IQ that he can make adjustments. He adjusts to hard coaching. He's not easily to be offended, and he's positive with his teammates. So I think he's moving in the right directions, and I think you're going to see our other first-year players start gaining more confidence as they get a little bit more experience.
Especially in a game like that where they start switching defenses up on you, and they go to that 2-3 zone. They've been, mainly a man-to-man team under Red Autry, but in that second half, and you guys were prepared for that. You knew they possibly could go to it if they needed to shake some things up. That identification as well, that ID, not only from Daquan, but all your guards. I know Jamir's in that category as well. To get you where you need to go is critical and key.
But they threw a couple of full-court presses at us, a 1-3, 1-2, 1-1. Then they went back to more of a contained press defense, 2-2-1, and then went to the 2-3 zone defense. And our guys were prepared, and they communicated with each other, and we seemed to execute very well during those periods. Sometimes those things will just throw you off for 2 or 3 possessions, and you lose your confidence. But that didn't happen to us on Saturday.
Yeah, Daquan, he helped lead the way. 18 points, 3 steals in the win, and probably a number that you like the most. 10 of 10 from the free throw line, Coach. I believe all of those were in the second half as well in winning time.
Well, there's no doubt that those free throws are very important. They are free if you make them. They're not free, but they're free.
Yeah, exactly
if
right.
If you make them, they're charity points that you get that you really, it really helps you.
But in all seriousness, your team shooting the free throw from the free throw line here over the last probably month. I mean, I believe your numbers as a squad, you're right near 80% as a team after getting off to maybe a little bit of a slower start that you would have liked early in the season. Since that point in time, your guys know how to get to the line, and they're putting them down, knock on wood, with what they're doing right there.
Well, that's the human nature of confidence that builds over time, and a lot of hard work and practice and putting yourself in that mental frame of mind while you are practicing that you should be in the game. And that's maturing, and we're making progress in those areas. And drawing fouls, we seem to be getting to the free throw line at a really accelerated rate.
Yeah, none better than Jamir Watkins, who we'll talk to a little bit later on in the show. He's drawing 8.8 fouls per 40 minutes. That's the most in all of college basketball right now.
Wow,
I mean, it's just something,
Well, that's good.
Keep doing that, right?
Maybe he can teach some of our other guys how to draw fouls like that.
That's exactly right. Well, coming up next here live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee, it is one of Coach's favorite segments. We will have a Seminole basketball question from a fan in the crowd tonight. Can't wait to have that come up. That is on the way as we're back with more, talking all things Florida State basketball, live from Glory Days when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletics.
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida, Home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
Welcome back inside Seminole basketball with the head coach Leonard Hamilton. As the Noles, it was a heck of a weekend for Florida State hoops, right? The men Saturday 90-74 over the Orange. How about the women yesterday getting the job done inside the Tucker Center, as it was a Florida State weekend on the hardwood? Coach, gotta love that.
Well, that's a lot of fun basketball-wise when you can have programs winning games all the time, and especially at home at the Tuck. Gives our fans something to cheer about.
All right. Are you ready? Are you ready? Question from the crowd here?
Well, I told you last week, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
That's exactly right. You stay ready. You don't have to get ready. We look to our left here, Coach. We have a question from the crowd. We appreciate you, sir, for joining us here on the show. Tell us your name and tell Coach, ask Coach your question. We appreciate you. Oh, there's a switch on there.
Hey,
there we go.
Yeah. Stuart Waldo here. So my question is kind of geared towards more of the freshmen because we talked about Davis. And so with Malique kind of developing and seeming to get more minutes and improving throughout the season, do you think as we progress through the ACC play that we'll be able to see more of that big man strategy that you always kind of like going with?
Well, right now we have 3 really good big guys that Christian Nitu has not played very much, but he is really, really ready. And so that gives us an opportunity when someone turns an ankle or someone gets in foul trouble, we feel very confident we have a nice 3-man rotation. As we move forward with our program and our freshmen, those 2 freshmen gain more experience, you can see that they're going to be more and more versatile where they can play what we call the 4 position and the 5 position, the 5 position, inside and outside. So I think we grooming them to move in that direction because they both are very versatile. But I'm proud of the progress those guys are making, and they're coming in the game a lot more confident, and they're making contributions. Especially with the Luke, but I think Christian is making the same level of progress. We just haven't had an opportunity to get him on the floor.
There you go. Stuart, who's been your favorite newcomer to watch so far with Coach Ham's guys? Who have you liked?
I mean, doing a good job on the transfer portal, so Ewin is definitely up there.
Yeah.
Watkins is definitely still probably my favorite to watch on the court.
There you go. I hear you there. Stuart, appreciate your question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stuart, give Stuart a round of applause, everybody. Great question from the crowd. We appreciate Stuart giving us his time here this evening, joining us here at Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. Speaking of big men, we have not talked about Malique Ewin yet, and that might be a world record, 34 minutes in to this show. But what an addition to your basketball team. And he had a lot of guys coming at him on Saturday. Eddie Lampkin, a big physical guy. Donnie Freeman's a big, tall freshman, a McDonald's All-American. And he handled those guys and then some. And I know you love his capability, Coach, as a passer is just second to none. It's a big man. It's really, really impressive.
Well, he's adding a different dimension to our system, offensively and defensively. He's a good shot blocker. He's a strong physical guy. He also has the ability to switch out 1 through 5 and contain a smaller point guard. And I don't know if we've seen anybody blow by him, in which is during the course of the season. That's always your concern when you have a 6'11", 7-foot guy guarding a 5'10" guy. We get criticized a lot for switching that way, but now that we have 3 guys who I think are doing a very good job containing the dribble, which it doesn't put us at a disadvantage, and it allows us to contain the dribble a lot more from the other players when we can switch that and not give up the angles. But Malique has been a welcome addition. He's a great passer. Normally, when we look back at some of the big men we've had in the past, they've been guys who catch the ball in the lane with 2 feet, and they've right shoulder, left shoulder, kind of what we call just attacking the basket. But he brings another dimension. He catches the balls outside the lane. He has the ability to drive and finish around, but he's finish the basket. But he has also the skill set to create opportunities for other players while has the ball, which is an added plus for most 5-men. For us, to have a guy that we can utilize that skill set.
2 plays that speak to what you're talking about from Saturday. First half, he fakes the handoff on the right wing, dribbling it down the floor and takes it all the way in and throws it down with 2 hands and dunks it. And then that pass, Coach, from about 30, 35 feet, a bounce pass to the baseline to Jamir. Those 2 plays are just big-time plays for a big man to make, and that, I think, shows everybody what he can do when he has the ball in his hands.
Well, there's no doubt that he has that type of skill, which is different than what we've been accustomed to having. And I think he's only scratched the surface of us figuring out more and more ways to take advantage of his exceptional skill set from the center position. To have a center being able to rebound and then start the breaking, that gives you 1,001 seconds more of an advantage of getting the ball kicked up. So he gets the rebound, he pushes it, and he kicks it up. You're going to get some easy baskets in transition as a result of him being able to start the break like that. And you saw even Leonard the other day get the rebound and push it. We're going to be able to take advantage of that as we continue to keep moving.
Speaking of Malique Ewin right now, at 57.6% from the field for players who qualify within the NCAA rule book, he leads the ACC in field goal percentage right now at just under 58%. Malique Ewin at 80 for 139 from the floor, getting the job done in so many categories right there. Hey, time now for our Scott and Wallace Keys to Success. Scott and Wallace, the official injury lawyers of Florida State Athletics. Scott and Wallace with offices in Tallahassee. Walk me through this week, Coach. We're on the road. We take off tomorrow, head down to Coral Gables, and then obviously Clemson is a game you're not thinking about right now. You're focused on Miami, but the week ahead, 2 road games, 2 opportunities for your basketball team in ACC play.
Well, there's no doubt you can't look ahead in this conference. We've always had great competitive games at the University of Miami. I expect it to be more of the same. It's always been a healthy rival for us, and I'm sure I think they haven't won an ACC game yet.
They have not, no.
And so they're going to be hungry. And, when you back someone into a corner, you can expect them to come out fighting.
Yes, absolutely. And Leonard Hamilton's Noles have had success over the Canes. They've won 12 of the last 13 meetings and 14 of the last 16 overall versus Miami in the series. So hoping to keep that going on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. tip. Obviously on the radio and audio side, you can tune in and watch it on the ACC network as well. Hey, when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. Coming up a little bit later on the program, Jamir Watkins will stop by, one of the best players in the ACC and all of college basketball. More Florida State basketball talk when we come back live from Glory Days. We're back after this timeout.
Hey, Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's SLEEP.me/Seminoles. Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care, and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletics.
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. This is Inside Seminole Basketball.
Man, we're having some fun tonight, are we not? Welcome back to Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. My name is Jeff Culhane. Excited to talk to this guy here coming up momentarily, sitting to my left on the main table as our program Inside Seminole Basketball brought to you in part by Carver's Discount Cleaners. They are mean on stains and green on earth. Try the new Eco Green Dry Cleaning at Carver's Discount Cleaners, 1215 North Monroe Street in Midtown. All right, everybody, let's give a big Seminole welcome, an unconquered welcome to Jamir Watkins, who is with us, kind of to give us some time. You guys were practicing. You were watching film today, getting ready for Miami. It is great to see you, sir. We appreciate your time so much, and congratulations on the win Saturday. How was that? What was that locker room like after that victory? It had to feel pretty good coming out of a 2-week stretch of straight practice and focusing on yourself on the practice floor.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you for having me, but us just getting our first ACC win, it was big for us. We enjoyed the moment, but we ready for the next one.
Yeah. We were talking in the break. Talk about what you did during the holidays. You got back home, right? Saw some family, correct? Talk about that a little bit.
I just got to go home, spend time with my mom and my father, spend time with my little cousins. I ain't seen them in a while, so just getting a feel for them, spending time with them a little bit.
That's awesome. One thing I want to make mention before we talk about basketball, Jamir, and you can tell the story as well if I get it wrong, but Jamir changed his number from last year to this year from 2 to 1. Mm-hmm. You want to tell people why you did that?
I'll let you tell.
Okay. He can fill in the blanks here, but Jamir is the first in his family to earn his college degree. And so he wants to be an example to his nieces, nephews, cousins, correct? Did I explain that correctly?
Yep.
Just talk about that mindset, how much that aspect of this whole thing means to you as an individual.
I mean, just being the first to do it, I mean, it comes a lot from what Coach Ham was preaching to me, like him graduating. It influenced his little brothers and his little sister to graduate and things like that. So I just want to do the same and change the culture around where I come from and just make it better for all of us. Man,
that's awesome. I'll tell you what, that is so very cool and should be commended for that. That's big time leadership and a great mindset there, to say the least. From a basketball perspective, your game is so fun to watch. You return to Florida State, and you're leading this team. You guys are 10 wins already, picked up your first ACC win on Saturday night versus Syracuse. Just give me kind of an all, encapsulating 35,000-foot view, just your mindset as a basketball player this year, because you've been a leader, you've been locked in, you've helped this team and led this team as a veteran on this squad. Just the urgency that you're playing with right now, Jamir, and how much fun you're having currently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun. I think we got a young group. I think we control our own destiny. It's just really how hard we want to work. Every time we step out there on the floor is how how much we're going to communicate, how hard we're going to work to outwork our opponent. So we control our own destiny when it comes to winning and stuff like that, how far we want to go.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What's the biggest challenge as a player, and you're one of the returners on this squad, when you got 10 new guys to work in with Coach Ham and into the system? You're obviously a guy the new guys, the young guys look to kind of show the way, and you're not you lead by example, but I know when you talk, people definitely listen. That's for sure.
Yep.
But what's that responsibility like, getting everybody on the same page, because you guys are obviously playing a solid brand of basketball right now?
I mean, it comes with a lot of communication. Like you said, I'm more of a guy that leads by example, so I'm learning more on how to, lead younger guys with my voice more, and it's helping me as well, with my family as well, just helping them. I would say, like, they are willing to listen, so that's what makes it easier for me, that they're willing to listen. And like I said, we control our own destiny, so the more we communicate, the more connected we are off the court, I feel like it's going to help us on the court.
That's fantastic. You got time to hang out with us for one more segment? We got one more segment with one of the best players in the ACC. Jamir Watkins got up to join us here live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee, as our conversation with our student athletes is presented by our friends at Seminole Boosters. Make sure you go to SeminoleBoosters.com for more info or how to support Florida State student athletes. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit more with Jamir Watkins about his senior season here at Florida State University. Stay with us. We're back with more after this timeout.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
Hey, Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/Seminoles. Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care, and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletics.
Great to be back live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee, having some fun on Monday night as the Noles a winner over Syracuse at the Tucker Center on Saturday, 90-74. Florida State getting the job done and looking really, really good in the process. Jamir Watkins with us here at our main table, as our program is brought to you in part by the team at Grassroots Coffee. Florida State Athletics would like to thank Grassroots Coffee for their support of the Noles on the hardwood. Order from Grassroots Coffee for your home or business today at grassrootscoffee.com, or find it at a store, restaurant, or coffee shop near you. Grassroots Coffee, made for everyone, loved everywhere. All right, we are here with Jamir Watkins. He is one of the best in college basketball at many things, but one thing you do amazingly well You get to the free throw line, big fella. You know how to use your body. You know how to get to the line. Currently, you're drawing 8.8 fouls per 40 minutes, the most in college basketball. How do you do it? What is the secret sauce where you're able to get yourself to the line and hurt teams that way? Because you do a great job at it.
I believe it's a talent to just get to the line. I feel like I figured that out a little last year. You know, being that I got a quick first step, it's hard for a lot of guys to, like, stay in front of me. So I just use that as my talent to, you know, create advantages for my team and get other guys open as far as, like, getting the opponent's team in foul trouble and stuff like that, helping us down the stretch.
I mean, you really do, and the numbers are eye-popping with what you're able to do, and it's so much fun to follow and watch. I'm trying to do a little bit of live math here on the fly with what you've done getting to the line, but one thing I've noticed out of you as well here as of late, your approach at the free throw line, it's almost like you're going into a yoga session.
Yeah.
You close your eyes, deep breath. It's almost like you go somewhere else to find that right mentality.
Yep.
Have you always been doing that, or did you just start doing some of that stuff recently at the free throw line?
I would say I just started it like probably last year.
Yeah.
Started it because I've been meditating a little bit, so that just helped me to, like, calm my mind down. You know, it's big when we're on the road. You know, you got a big crowd. They want you to miss free throws, usually getting some free stuff if you miss both. So
they do give away free stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that.
Nah.
Yeah.
So I just take a deep breath, close my eyes, and just picture myself in the gym by myself.
I love that, man. That is really cool. And every player has their own process, right? You were taught that I'm sure as a young player.
Yep.
At the free throw line. Hey, find just kind of your zen, right? And you have found that and are able to create that kind of success.
Yep.
Yeah. I tell you what. So I found the numbers here. Jamir has shot 135 free throws this season already through 14 games. That's tied for the most in all of college basketball, ladies and gentlemen. 135 times. And the 100 makes is the most by any Power 4 player in the country as well for Jamir Watkins. So really, really good stuff, to say the least. And how you're doing it, it's really, really impressive. There's no question about that. All right, let's talk about this week. You go on the road. Obviously, you get away from home. It's an opportunity to kind of, I guess, get tight as a basketball team, right? We go down to Miami. It's a rivalry game. What's that message for the guys that haven't played in this building? What kind of a game we're going to see and expect on Wednesday night?
I mean, I think it explains itself. Like, it's a rivalry game. We got younger guys. They got younger guys. It's going to be a dogfight the whole game. I believe that on the road, this is where, like, we got to come together more and really come out with this win. You know, we got to take it brick by brick, game by game, because right after that, we got another road game with Clemson. So we just got to take it one step at a time and come home with the victory.
I tell you what, it's a pleasure to watch you play. It's always great talking to you, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
There you go. Give it up for Jamir Watkins, ladies and gentlemen. He's an ACC All-American performer here in 2025. We'll take one more time out. We'll come back, wrap things up with Leonard Hamilton live from Glory Days in Tallahassee. We're back after this timeout.
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sights, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
Hey, Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/Seminoles.
From Glory Days Grill, this is Inside Seminole Basketball.
And we're back one final time live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. Again, a big round of applause as Karina and Amelia bring us back. Thanks so much, ladies. We appreciate your time very much joining us here at Glory Days and welcoming us back in to the program as Glory Days Grill is the host location of Inside Seminole Basketball with Leonard Hamilton. Come on by Monday nights during the season, 7 to 8 p.m. Great food, drinks, and here, of course, from Coach Ham, players, and staff. How awesome was that, hearing from Jamir, especially at the part, and I know education is so influential and important to you. It's been so influential in your life, Coach, him changing his number to number 1 as the first person in his family to earn his college degree.
Man, that is special. That is special because most of the guys that we get our first generation college students, and for them to get their degrees, and that's probably one of the most stats that we are most proud of, the fact that we've only had one player in the 23 years we've been here that have not graduated that's been with us for 4 years.
Wow, that's great.
Which is I'm very, very proud of. And because coaches are recognized for how many games they go to the NCAA, how many games they win, and all the awards and Coach of the Year awards. But in reality, if the kids that play for you to help you get those wins don't get their degrees and have a nice life after basketball, then what have you really accomplished?
Yeah.
So I think the athletic department, the tutor, the academic office, and the support system that we've gotten over the years, they have been just tremendous in helping our guys realize their dream of walking across that stage and getting that degree and setting the example for the kids and their families to follow. So I'm very grateful and appreciative for the cooperation that we've gotten and for all the hard work for our players, putting academics above everything else.
Yep. Coach, we got about 40 seconds here. Let's talk about Miami. Big game, rivalry game, and one that you want to go on the road and get an ACC win in a big-time way, I know.
Well, I'm not going to get it twisted. I know it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
And even though we've won our share of the games, a lot of those games have been very closely contested, and we found a way to come out on top in most of them. And we know that even increases their intensity and focus of how bad they want to win this game.
Yep, absolutely. Coach, I tell you what, it's always great talking to you. Congrats on that win Saturday night. Let's go. Let's keep it rolling this week.
Let's get it done.
Let's
right?
do it. That's right. Please give it up, Leonard Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen, as the Noles look to continue it and keep on that winning track Wednesday night, taking on the Miami Hurricanes. Big thanks to Jamir Watkins. Thanks to everybody stopping out tonight. My name is Jeff Culhane. You've been watching and listening to Inside Seminole Basketball. Have a great night, everybody, and go Noles!